with the riots going on, where some people are being beat up, and Streets of Rage 4 just came out. Seemed like a good time to play a beat 'em up game. And that game is Fighting Force 64. Now this originally was supposed to be Streets of Rage 4, but Core Design wanted to port this to all the systems at the time, but Sega didn't want that, so they pulled the license, and now this is Fighting Force instead of Streets of Rage 4. And that's probably also why there's no Saturn version to this game. I think Core Design wanted to spite them, so it's only on N64, PlayStation, I believe PC. Alright, let's open this on up. Oh, easy to go on the back. Now this I rented when it came out, and I just bought this recently. I was looking at it, they kept in good shape. Almost looks brand new. Check out the serial number. What is that? FF Fighting Force. There's the stamp over there, the factory stamp. Yeah, either somebody took real care of this or it wasn't played that much. Alright, looks authentic to me. Where's the FF? Yep, there it is. Yep, this looks authentic. Got the paint splotch right there. Now before we get to the manual, now some of the N64 games came with some other stuff, like here's something unique. This came with tattoos. Now this is probably, that definitely is hard to find. I didn't see any loose on eBay. Now I saw tattoos before in like Ultra Game Player magazine of, I think it was at Street Racer. They had a big tattoo on it where you could probably put it on your back. Yeah, too bad I don't have that magazine anymore. I'd show it to you. Yeah, some other things at the N64, things like the tattoos that I believe Rampage 2 came with a plushie. I know Gauntlet Legends came with a figurine. I believe there was a Hot Wheels game that came with the Hot Wheels car. And there's some other things like this unique to the games. Manual wasn't in too good of a condition. Now the manual to this game, I only seen one of them on eBay loose, and that was going for $44. Now that's way too expensive to get it loose, get the game loose. The game usually goes for $25–30 loose on eBay, so that, let's see, and this was $44. I'll show us an image of it. Yeah, I'll show you how much I got this package for. I didn't just get the game and manual. Fighting Force, the game, the manual, the memory pack, tattoos, and that case right there. So I got that, what, June 3rd, for $61.89 total, plus the shipping and handling tax, $72.12. So for 5 items, if you divide it up, it'd be $14.42, so that's good. This was $44 alone. The game usually goes for $25–30. Memory cards is about even. That it's like $10 at the cheapest for a memory card, and plus the shipping either $3–5, so that's about even. But the case right here, this usually goes for, I think the cheapest one I saw was $7. I saw them selling for $10 with free shipping, so didn't really get a deal on this, but overall I would got a deal. So yeah, it seems Fighting Force is not, I'm taking it didn't sell that well, because the PlayStation version came out in '97. This one came out in I believe '99. So people who bought that one probably didn't get this one. So this one seems harder to find, buy. Not 100% sure. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I believe it. Yeah, real quick before we get into the manual. Got Chinese food today. Let's see what it says. Do not give up. The beginning is always the hardest. And quite appropriate for what I'm doing. Alright, Fighting Force 64. Yep, a hard manual to come by. Of course, the gloss hard to see in the light. Now, of course, the story has another Y2K apocalypse plot. The big bad here wants to fulfill the prophecy. It didn't happen. Like in the real life, Y2K didn't set off the nukes with the computers. Yeah, I was talking about Y2K with the Fatal Fury and the clock. How people say, what the hell's up with the date? How is Fatal Fury taking place in the early 1900s? It looks like in the 1990s. Well, that's because the Neo Geo clocks aren't Y2K compliant, and they don't go to 2000. They loop back to the 1900s. Let's see. Yeah, like I was saying, this was originally supposed to be a Streets of Rage, the original Streets of Rage 4, but thankfully it wasn't. Personally, I don't think this is a good enough game to have the Streets of Rage name attached to it. The quality is just not that good. It's an average beat 'em up. I'll get into it while I'm playing through it. I'm going through it too quick, not looking through the viewfinder. Jesus. Yeah, one of the reasons is the camera. It's either too close where you can't see the enemies that are just off the camera and they're throwing shit at you, so that fucks you up. And the characters are not that fast/responsive, so that fucks you up too. Now, unfortunately, I think there's only 2 beat-em-ups I know of on the N64. This and Batman Beyond. Those are the only 2 I remember. So it's this system's lacking the beat-em-up genre. Although during the 5th gen, I think the Saturn had the best beat-em-ups on their console, which is a good segue. Now, I heard this was originally. They also tried to make this a Streets of Rage 4 game. Now this is worthy of the Streets of Rage 4 name, this game, its engine. There's not much information on that I could find. I believe they said they didn't want to give it the Streets of Rage 4 name because they didn't want an arcade game. And I have played and beaten this in the actual arcade. It's a good one. Now from memory, it seems to be the same game. Now this is also Dynamite Deca in Japan. And on the cover of Dynamite Deca, it actually has Bruce Willis's face. So I think they didn't want to pay Bruce Willis's license to get his face here, so that's why it's some generic guy instead of Bruce Willis. Whereas in Japan at the time, he probably had no idea of them doing that. So that's how they got away with shit like that. But not today, not with the internet. People, they'll find out and they'll sue them then.
Corporate fucking shill, you're another whore in the capitalist gang. So I can earl under shit up your corporate fucking shill, you're another whore in the capitalist gang. So I can earl under shit up your corporate fucking shill, you're another whore in the capitalist gang. So I can earl under shit up your corporate fucking shill, you're another whore in the capitalist gang. So I can earl under shit up your everything you say is suspect. Corporate fucking shill, you're another whore in the capitalist gang. So I can earl under shit up your corporate fucking shill, you're another whore in the capitalist gang. Do a commercial, there's a price on your head, everything you say is suspect.
Yeah, like with the SNK games, you see how they have well, not just SNK, a lot of games back then, like Contra, that's pretty much based off Rambo, Aliens Commando, and you'll see all the movies are, a lot of the video games are inspired off those movies. So yeah, this is one of my favorite beat 'em ups. Well, my favorite game for the Saturn. It's what made me pull the trigger on the Saturn and buy it. That's how good this one is. Even though it's short, that's some people complain about is how short it is, but it has the replay value. I'd highly recommend this one. Now this one they did right. The camera is zoomed out. You can see everything. There's no sneaking enemies for the most part, although it moves very slightly. There's some areas that moves, but not too much. Also another good beat 'em up is Zombie Revenge. I know General Lots just did a review on that. He didn't like that one, but I like that one. It's a hard one. That's what she said. But it's a good one. Zombie Revenge right here for the Dreamcast. Now this one had a more dynamic camera, which was on track, but it was zoomed out where you can see everything for the most part, and then you can move around. It has more, it's not just an arena like in Die Hard Arcade, where it's usually a square arena, and then you move on to the next level, which is a square arena, and so on and so forth. Sometimes a rectangle where the camera moves left to right a little bit. But there's some like fucking like the first level, it's basically an L shape, and the camera follows you. So yeah, highly recommend this game, but you got to learn how to play this. I've actually beaten this. If you want to see a playthrough of that, I still got to do a playthrough of a Die Hard Arcade. I might eventually do that. Now before we go, let's talk about the riots. It seems we've all forgotten about the virus, and now we're going into the riots. Yeah, here's one thing that surprised me. They have fuck right on the cover. I'm surprised they let that slide. You know how fucking politically correct these things are. Everything is nowadays. Or it might be an oversight. But I wish more people were like that. And so politically correct. So yeah, I've been watching the videos of that. It seems history repeats itself. Now I hope you guys have been preparing for this, preferably with a... I've been watching some videos of people defending themselves. It seems the ones that defend themselves with guns, they're more effective.
Yo, look at it. This the owner. This the owner. Yo, this the owner right here. Yo, he about to let it off. He about to let it off on him. Oh, yeah. Fuck niggas talking about. Get the fuck about it.
But there's some people who have been trying to defend themselves with bow and arrows.
He's got a fucking bow and arrow, man. Yo, someone knocked this fucker out, man.
Hey, listen, look. Hey, listen. Watch out. Look. Hey, listen.
Get this
Watch out.
motherfucker, man. Fuck up.
But they were also trying to defend themselves with a sword.
Shit. Oh my god. Shit.
Look at your stupid ass! You came out with a sword! You trying to kill somebody!
And they weren't too effective. They got beat up. Now I've seen two different videos of truckers reminiscent of Reginald Denny. Now the one guy, he was smart, he stepped on the gas.
The FedEx driver and shot into somebody.
Oh my God.
Come on, Bert, what happened?
Well, when the radios went out, I decided to return to the refinery. But en route, I find I'm in an ambush situation. Must have been a couple of dozen of these things. Well, I dropped the first wave with semi-auto fire, but they just kept coming. Sheer luck, most of them were in front of the truck, so I just popped it in the sixth wheel and ran them down.
And now he got away without getting hurt. But the other guy didn't learn from Reginald Denny, and he got the shit beat out of him.
How many of y'all wondered like I did during the LA riots when those people were being pulled out of their trucks and beaten half to death? How many of y'all wondered like I did? Step on the fucking gas, man. They're on foot, you're in a truck. I think I see a way out of this. It's that pedestrian right-of-way law.
Hi, I'm Rodney King.
And I'm Reginald Denny. And we're here to give you young people a friendly word of advice. Always think before you act.
Right? See, it's not whether you win or lose, but is it over when the fat lady sings? Can't we all just get along?
Staying in school and staying off drugs is fine, but it ain't gonna do you any good at all if you don't have sense enough to stay in your car.
Right? See, we were stupid. We got out of our car. We didn't use our heads. Now look what happened. We may have won the battle, but the early bird got the worm. Can't we all just get along?
And your friends are gonna try to tempt you. They're gonna say, hey, come on, get out of your car. What can it hurt? Take it from us.
It hurts. Right? See, it's like Confucius said, he who hesitates can lead a horse to water, but he can't get that bird out of his bush. Can't we all just get along?
So take it from us, Reginald Denny.
And Rodney King, stay in your car.
You wanna drive?
No, man.
Let's talk about it in the car.
We could take the bus.
No, there's people on the bus.
So I hope you guys learned from those videos. Don't half-ass it. Use the most effective tool there is on the market here, a gun. Don't do anything stupid like fucking swords or bows and arrows or fucking bear spray or whatever the fuck it is. Not only do you have to prepare for it with weapons, you also should prepare for if you gotta stay in your house long term. Make sure you got enough to eat that could last you for, I'd say, at least a month. Say, in case you can't go out. Like in the 1992 riots, there was a video of one lady who couldn't get anything because all the stores were being rioted. She said she had no food in the house.
The United States, how come they let that happen to the place? Why didn't they guard? Y'all running out of there with the food. I got to do some shopping. I don't have any food in the house.
Now I recommend canned foods because they're better at preserving food because they are an oxygen barrier, better than plastics.
Meals, ready to eat. Freeze-dried, foil-sealed. Gotta be foil. Plastic is not an oxygen barrier.
Yeah, see, that's what I always wondered. I was thinking about this. Why does the canned sodas taste better than the plastic sodas? Originally, I thought it was because it's what's contained in it. You taste the residual, the residual taste of whatever it's contained in. But no, that's not the case. I found an article. It was because the cans are better at preserving. Well, they're better at oxygen barrier. So where the plastic, I believe they said the carbonation escapes through the plastic, whereas with the cans it does not. So I once drank, I found a soda down in the basement that was a couple years expired. I tried it. It tasted like it was brand new, so I definitely believe that it is a better preserving whatever's in it. And obviously I'm still alive here today. even though it's way past its expiration date. So yeah, I remember, I think it was Modern Marvels or something on the History Channel. They said they opened up a canned veal and they fed it to some rats and they saw no ill effects to the rats. So I guess it almost indefinitely preserves whatever's inside it. So stock up on canned foods if you can. And one last thing before I go. I mentioned this before, I got a new lighter here. Stars. Yeah, this is another thing I upgraded besides my knife, so I hope you guys are upgrading on your supplies. Like last video, I upgraded my knife to a better one. Well, now here I'm upgraded to a better lighter. Not just having the design here, but having a butane lighter. See, now this one doesn't leak out. Butane doesn't evaporate, especially when you got the the one made for butane. I'll show you in a second what I mean. See, it only comes out when you hit the button, and I don't have to worry about this leaking the gas out. Because I don't smoke, so this is just for starting fires. I've already got use out of this. I started like 4 or 5 fires with it. My old one was originally for, it's a Zippo style, where once, like I said right here, once you open it up, once that goes out, the butane will leak out. So, was also seeping out. This one was busted because my old case was crushing it. So I replaced. Oh, I can smell the butane here right now. I just opened it. See, that's what I mean. Whereas this one, you don't have to worry. You can leave this open all day long. Don't have to be in a rush to hit the button. So that's about it. Riots going on. People getting beat up. Streets of Rage 4 just came out. So you gotta play a beat 'em up game. So everybody get prepared, because after the virus, the riots, what's next? The Civil War? Second Civil War, that is. Alright guys, I'll see you in the stream.
Bert Gummer here with the Daily Gummer. Now the key to survival is preparation. And what better place to get prepped than your local supermarket? Everything you need to survive the graboid apocalypse will be stocked on those shelves. But remember, you can't kill a graboid with a candy bar, so stick to dry goods and proteins. Nuts, beans, and beef jerky. Then head on over to the aisle that means the difference between life and death. Toilet paper. Grab as much as you can, then when you think you have enough, grab more. Then after every graboid in the world has been blown back to hell, you can rest easy knowing your stash of TP can get you through a decade of dysentery. Gummer out.